Every night I fall asleep beside a man who holds me close, who whispers that he loves me, yet the next morning he leaves to see someone else. My name is Clara Benson. I'm 34 years old, and I've been married to Walter for 11 years. He's a good man in so many ways, the kind who never raises his voice, who remembers every birthday, who works hard to provide for us. But there are parts of him that are quietly broken, and those broken parts hurt more than anger ever could. Walter wakes before sunrise every morning. He stands by the kitchen window with his coffee, staring at nothing in particular, lost in thoughts he never shares. Before he leaves for work, he always kisses my forehead, as if that small gesture can hold our crumbling life together. I've learned to recognize the days when he's going to see her. He takes longer in the shower. He chooses his clothes more carefully. He avoids my eyes. When the door closes behind him, the silence that fills the house feels heavier than any argument. He also struggles with an addiction that comes and goes in waves. When it returns, I watch him become someone smaller, someone ashamed, someone desperate. He never lies about the other woman. He never hides where he's going. Sometimes I think his honesty is crueler than any lie could be. Yet he never misses dinner. He never forgets our anniversary. At night, he comes home exhausted and lies beside me, holding me as if I'm the only safe place left in his world. My mother begs me to leave him. My sister says I deserve better, that I'm wasting my life. They speak with love, never with judgment, and I know they're right, but they don't know the whole story. Years ago, I became very ill. My body shut down slowly, and one night in the hospital, my breathing stopped. The doctors rushed in, but it was Walter who refused to let me go. He screamed for help. He held my hand and fought for my life when I couldn't fight for myself. The doctor told me later that without Walter's desperate refusal to give up, I wouldn't have survived. Some bonds are forged in moments when death is close. Those bonds don't break easily, even when they should. Still, knowing that didn't heal the ache in my chest. One evening, Walter came home late and said nothing. He just sat across from me, distant and unreachable. Something inside me finally broke. For the first time, I realized I didn't need answers or apologies. I needed space. I needed to breathe. So I left, not forever, just for a little while. I went to a small coastal town where nobody knew me. The air was softer there. The days moved slowly. I walked along the beach alone, ate quiet meals by myself, and sat for hours watching strangers live their ordinary lives. I watched couples laugh together, argue softly, sit in comfortable silence. That's when I noticed him. He sat on the same bench every evening, staring out at the water. He wore a wedding ring, but sat alone. He didn't look dramatically sad, just tired in a way I recognized. One afternoon in a cafe, a chair tipped over between us. We both reached for it at the same time and laughed awkwardly. After that, we started talking sometimes, nothing deep, just small conversation and shared silence. One day he told me why he was there. His wife had left him for another man. Not suddenly, not with shouting or drama, just quietly. She had simply chosen someone else. As he spoke, something unexpected happened inside me. I laughed softly, not because it was funny, but because it was painfully familiar. The world suddenly felt smaller, and strangely, I felt less alone. I told him my story too, about Walter, about the mistress, about staying despite everything. We became friends in that brief time, nothing romantic, nothing dangerous, just two wounded people recognizing each other's pain. That friendship healed something I didn't know was broken. When I returned home, the house looked the same, but felt different. Walter was waiting. His eyes were swollen and red. His face looked thinner, older. He said he thought I'd left him for good. He said the silence of those days without me had shown him the truth he'd been running from. He sat beside me on the couch, then slowly slid down to the floor. He laid his head in my lap and cried like a man who had nothing left to hide or protect. He cried in a way I'd never seen before. I held him not because everything was suddenly fixed, not because love had become easy or simple again, but because I finally understood something important. I understood that love is never perfect. People hurt each other, sometimes without meaning to, sometimes while loving each other deeply. Walter whispered through his tears that while he'd been chasing something he thought was gold, he'd almost lost the diamond he already had. Some people only see what they have when it's almost gone. I didn't answer him with words. I just stayed. Because I learned during those quiet days by the ocean that love is unsomething you can buy or replace or manufacture. It either exists or it doesn't, and sometimes staying isn't weakness or foolishness. Sometimes staying is the hardest, bravest choice you can make. Not because you're blind to the pain, but because you see it clearly and choose to keep trying anyway. That night, holding my broken husband while he cried, I realized that healing doesn't mean forgetting or pretending. It means accepting that we're all imperfect, all struggling, all doing our best with hearts that sometimes fail us. And perhaps that's enough.